In today's video, your body is always storing fat.
All by myself.
What's going on, guys? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and today's video topic is going to be about the idea of avoiding foods that make us fat or fattening or eating so that we don't store body fat. Because it's impossible. Your body is always in the process of storing body fat. I'm going to explain why in a little more detail, but first, hey Paul, why are you wearing a Tampa Bay Rays shirt? It's not baseball season. Well, today was a monumental day. It was my son's first ever T-ball game. Insert adorable clip of Sloan swinging the bat. That's right. So yeah, this morning we had a game at 9 a.m. Had to get up early, get out to the field, and watch some 3- and 4-year-olds be less than focused on the baseball field, but it was really fun to be out there. So yeah, got home, got back to work, but yeah, that's why I'm wearing the old Rays. My son's on the Rays, just conveniently that we live in Tampa. Now, let's talk about the topic of why I want to tell you that we're always storing body fat. I had a couple client phone calls today, and one of them was with an individual who said she was afraid of food, meaning she didn't like the idea of consuming more calories because psychologically in her mind, whenever she would eat carbohydrates, she visualized that that was going to turn into body fat. Does eating mean we store body fat? Yes, it does. But this is the cool thing about studying exercise science and learning what the processes of the body are doing. The body is always simultaneously storing adipose tissue and burning adipose tissue, okay? You are never stopping either of those processes from happening. They're happening around the clock. The body is very, very, very dynamic. So what we need to focus on less is the fact that we're eating and thinking like this is making me fatter. And I understand that's probably like beginning to be some eating disorder behavior. You start to think about fearing foods, fearing a food group like carbohydrates, fearing things like sugar or whatever it might be, fear in general. You're starting to get into some eating disorder behavior. But I think a lot of that can be corrected by understanding the body on a larger scale. And so I want to help you. I want to help you understand. So if I told you that you're always storing body fat, you're like, well, Paul, that's terrible. Well, we're also always burning body fat. So what matters is not that when you eat a meal, you store some body fat. What matters is over the course of the entire day, what is the net result, okay? This is where a caloric deficit comes into play. Just because when we eat a meal, it's getting stored as body fat, doesn't mean we're not therefore going to burn it off later. And our bodies need to be fueled, okay? So if you don't fuel the body, if you don't fuel the machine, you're not gonna have the energy to get in there and kick some ass in the gym, kick some ass and enjoy life. Get outside and take a walk in this beautiful weather. Whatever it might be, think of the fuel as a way for you to do better. Treat your body like a race car. Give it some kick-ass fuel and go kick ass on the track, AKA the gym. That's right, that's what I'm saying. The people that have the best results not only eat well, but they train well. And so I want you guys to understand that we're never going to stop our bodies from storing fat. You're not going to magically prevent insulin from being released by eating a certain way so that you never store body fat. No, body fat is an essential part of our body. Body fat is basically another organ. It signals and tells us and changes things within us. So body fat is not evil. I understand we don't want it necessarily or as much of it, but changing that slowly is what's important, okay? We do not want to starve our bodies to lose body fat. That's going to cause a lot of things to malfunction, okay? We want to be able to perform and train and recover, and we want to do that through eating properly, okay? Not through fearing foods. There are no bad foods. There are only bad portions. I'll say this all the time. Of course there's the exception. Yes, it's a bad food if it's poison or if you have a food intolerance or something like that. But as a whole, There are no bad foods, okay guys? There is no reason to fear something. You can eat it and it will get stored and it will get burned, okay? It's a dynamic process that's always happening. And once you get over that hurdle, you don't look at food the same. At least I don't. I look at food as, let's have this, let's go kick some butt, and then let's pay attention to our calories, our macronutrients for a 24-hour period, and let's just make sure that we're seeing consistent weight loss over time. That's how we know we're in a caloric deficit, all right? Do not fear food, okay? And if you do, educate yourself a little bit on what happens on our biology through digestion. I'm still learning about it, and I just find it fascinating, and it just makes it so much better, so much more when you understand it, just what our bodies are doing. So the more I learn, the more questions I have. Never ending. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. It's Saturday. I've been on phone calls all morning. I've been at T-ball. Now it's time to get some work done, and then guess what? It's leg day. Crushing these legs. Probably need to do a physique update in the near future. I've hit a couple new lows on the scale. Body weight's coming down, getting a little leaner, a little meaner. Still feeling great. So yeah, that's going to happen in the near future. But thank you guys, and as always, talk to you tomorrow.
all by myself.